Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a process video for you today. I'm going to be setting up my tag ring to work through the newest devotional from Bythewell4God called Follow Me. I am using this tag bob kit. You could certainly use tag dies or whatever if you were wanting to create a tag ring as well. This kit comes with 15 tags, which one you could definitely use for the cover. And these tags are on like the heavyweight paper that they use for their covers of their devotionals. But I wanted to create something just a little bit sturdier. And so I'm using some chipboard. This is actually left over from a paper pad, and like a mixed media paper pad, and I always save the chipboard off of the back of those. And so I just traced those tags, and I'm gonna cut that out with an X-Acto knife, box cutter, whatever, so that I have two pieces that are the same size as my tags to make covers out of. And I just want to say really quick, I'm sorry about my voice. I've been trying to record the voiceover for this video for a few days. We went on a quick trip for Memorial Day, and I came home without my voice. I feel totally fine. I don't have my voice. So I didn't want to wait any longer to get this video out because I had challenged myself to do 30 videos in 30 days for the month of June. And so as you can tell, I'm already a couple days behind. So I just wanted to go ahead and get this video out there. So if this is really offensive, just put me on mute or whatever. So, and I do apologize, but the next few videos may be a little scratchy. So I'm so sorry about that. So what you saw me do there is just went through the pattern paper that coordinates with the kit. I have the 6x8 size. It does come in a 6x6 as well. And I picked out a couple papers, the ones that have these beautiful buildings on it. I just felt like it was a really good representation of the color scheme and everything, and I just really loved those buildings. So I am going to be using two of those, and I am just using this double-sided adhesive. This is from scrapbook.com. I have a really wide version and a narrow version. Score tape is another one. The scrapbook.com I have found works just as well. So I just applied that to the entire surface of this chipboard, and then I burnished it down really well. And I'm going to peel back the release paper just part of the way and kind of give it little wings here to hold on to so that I can position it on this paper more easily. If you've ever worked with this double-sided tape, you know it's really sticky. So this just helps me make sure I'm getting a good placement, and I want to try to be as straight as I possibly can. So I'm just positioning this kind of middle-ish in there, and then I'm going to pull the release papers, and then I'm going to burnish this down really well. And I'm using my bone folder here to go around and kind of almost create like a score line around this chipboard, because this paper is really good, heavy, thick cardstock kind of paper. I didn't want it to crack when I was wrapping around this chipboard. So when you do that, you just kind of create a little score line on there. It just helps it fold a little bit easier. So and then I just went ahead and I trimmed down some of the paper, the height, and now I'm going to go around the corners. This is just going to help me to be able to get a really nice wrap on this. And so you can see I'm kind of trying to figure out where I need to trim this to get this to wrap in a good way. So I'm just cutting a couple little V's here right at the points where the tag kind of starts to go inward. You can see there I'm just cut a couple V's, and then I'm going to do the same thing up at the top where those 2 points are. So you kind of end up with these two kind of wonky pieces, which you could trim down a little bit. If you didn't, I just left them like they were. It didn't bother me, but you can see how that's going to fold over. So I needed a little bit more trim there, and then these will just wrap around. And so what I'm going to do is actually start with those kind of funky pieces. So I'm going around now with some more of that double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to put that on the chipboard as well as on the paper, and that's going to give me the best kind of adhesion for this paper. I didn't want to use liquid adhesive just because I didn't want to warp the paper or anything. So I went all the way around the tag and the pattern paper with this double-sided adhesive, and now I'm just going to peel off all of the release paper, and I'm going to start with those kind of little wings up there at the top and adhere those down first. So I'm pulling off the release paper, And like I said, you could trim these down so they have, like, they follow more of the angle of the tag if you wanted to. I just didn't really find it necessary. So as I'm going around, I'm just using my bone folder to kind of help me make sure everything is really flush and I'm getting a good wrap around so that it looks nice and crisp. And then I did the top here. And anytime you're wrapping chipboard or anything for a cover, you kind of want to do opposite sides. So I did basically everything that was at the top, and now I'm doing the bottom. And now I'll finish by going through and doing both of the side pieces. That just helps so that everything's kind of laying in the same direction. Just keeps it more uniform. Most of the inside of this is going to get covered up with some other pattern paper. So it's not super important, but it does, in my brain, I need to do it this way. So again, you can see me kind of going around now with my bone folder, just making sure everything is nice and crisp. And I'm going to do that to the back side as well. And then I picked out another coordinating pattern paper so that I could create the inside to cover the inside of these tags. So I'm just using this kind of neutral pink here, and I'm just going to trim this down so that it's just ever so slightly smaller than the tag itself. And that way it will cover up like all the seams and everything from where those pieces were folded over. I'm just lining this up here, and then I'm going to lay this down and just kind of trace the shape of the tag. Excuse me. That way I can just get roughly the right size that I need for it, and then I'm just using my scissors to trim this down. So a lot of this is going to be covered up by the time I add like all the fibers and all the things. So I'm not really too worried about it at this point. So I'm just lining this up, and I'm going to now add this on here. I'm going to put some more adhesive there on the tag, just kind of one little section down the middle. And then I'm going to use the thinner double-sided adhesive all the way around the edges. That just makes sure that this paper is going to be good and glued down from edge to edge. It's not going to pop up or anything. And then I'm just positioning it so it's relatively equal around, and then burnishing it down really well just to make sure everything is nice and stuck down. And then I need to create holes, so I'm just using one of the tags and I'm just tracing the hole on there, and then I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile to punch the holes out. And I am going, you could leave it like this. I actually am just going to go ahead and put some eyelets on there because I'm anticipating that with a lot of turning the pages back and forth and things, I just want it to be able to slide around on that ring really well. And so I happen to have in my stash a couple of eyelets that look like flowers, and they're like kind of that same color of metal. So I'm going to use these. These barely fit because they're just not very long, and my chipboard is pretty thick, but I think it managed to work okay. So I'm just putting that in there and then using that tool to set my eyelet on there, and I will do that to the back cover as well. And I found with these, it was easier to put the eyelet like on the crocodile and then kind of position the paper over it and then squeeze it. It just worked better, especially because there wasn't a whole lot of the eyelet sticking out the backside, if you know what I'm talking about. So here I just want to decorate the cover just a little bit. I don't want to add too much at this point. I will probably come back and add some more later on, but I did want to add a few things. So I'm going to add some fabric here on the front. I want to use this bright pink fabric that came in the kit. This was the texture piece that came with the devotional kit. And then I have this lace in my stash, and I'm going to use this is a it's called the Singer, I can't recall what it right off the top of my head, but it's just a little handheld like desktop sewing machine. I don't have an actual sewing machine, so I'm just kind of fighting with this. I wanted to sew these two pieces together, so I'm just kind of going through here and using this little machine. It works great for just little projects like this. Someday I may invest in an actual sewing machine for my paper crafting, which sounds funny, but I really love the look that it brings to it. So I decided to just use some Fabri-Tac here on the back of this to glue this down, and I'm going to leave those threads there on the left pretty long. I ended up trimming those down a little bit, but I want that kind of rough look just a little bit. And then I'm going to go through all of the bits and pieces from the devotional kit and see what I want to add here on the front. I thought about adding some ephemera pieces, and in the end I just really love this pattern paper. So I'm going to use the kit sticker, and I also really love this tree, but they're a couple of my favorite pieces, but I decided to just leave the pattern paper pretty well like it is. So I put this the kit sticker onto one of the pattern papers just to give it a little bit of contrast, just like one of the purpley blue colors, and then I'm just going to glue that down kind of right in the middle. Like I said, I may come back and add some more to this cover, but for right now I'm not really sure. Sometimes I finish the covers after I've finished the devotional. So here I'm going through and I'm going to add all of these tags now. I want to just kind of mix them up, so I'm just kind of randomly mixing them up so I don't have all the pinks together and whatever on my ring. In the end, it's not really going to matter because I'll just work on whatever color strikes my fancy for that day, I guess, but just kind of wanted them in there in some kind of random order. And then I'm going to put my covers on, and they also included this cute little paintbrush in the Tag Bob kit. This is that they made on their Glowforge, which I think is so cute. And the Tag Bob kit came with all these different fibers in different colors and shades and everything, and these will get added to my project as I go through the kit. I don't want to add too much to it now because I just don't want to be fighting with it the whole time. So I'm adding a couple on the front just for some interest. This purple one definitely, because I'm all about all the purples. And I wanted to add just a little bit again to the front of this, and then I'm adding this beautiful blue. It's almost like a periwinkle color. I love it, and I just love the texture of this particular fiber. So I just added those. Again, I know that I'll be adding more as time goes on, but I want to also have the option of adding them kind of in between the pages as well. So this is kind of just a close-up of how it's looking for now. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.